Rain fell harder outside as the silence inside the house became deafening. Frederick stood soaked at the door, his shirt clinging to his chest, and his eyes shunted but honest locked with Matilda's. Greg stepped in front of Matilda protectively. "You can't just show up here like this." Frederick scoffed. "Oh, I can. And I just did. You've lied long enough, Greg." Greg's jaw tightened, but Matilda's voice cut through the tension. "Greg, move." He hesitated. She repeated, cold and firm, "Move." Greg stepped aside. Matilda walked slowly toward Frederick and the little girl by his side. The child looked barely 3, curly-haired, big, round eyes. So innocent, so unaware. "She's yours?" Matilda whispered. Frederick nodded. "Peggy's. But Victor," he ran. "I stepped up. I'm not perfect, but I won't abandon her." He looked straight at her. "But I didn't come just for her. I came for you." Matilda's breath caught in her throat. "You came too late," Greg snapped. Frederick chuckled bitterly. "You always did like pretending you won the game before the final whistle." He stepped forward. "But I know about Nina, and the letter, and the payoff. You're not who you say you are, Greg." Flashback. The secret deal. 2 years ago. A hospital room. Nina screaming. Greg pacing. A man in a suit enters. Mr. Daniels Sr. "This is bad for the family, Greg. She's going to ruin us." Greg. "I didn't push her. She just lost it." Daniels Sr. "Doesn't matter. We're cutting her family a deal. Silence for settlement. No police, no press." Greg. "Matilda will never find out?" Daniels Sr. "Not if you keep your mouth shut and play your role." Back to the present. Frederick handed Matilda a USB drive, water droplets running down its plastic case. "Everything's on there. The deal. The cover-up. The night Nina disappeared." Greg stepped forward to snatch it, but Matilda was faster. "Don't." Her voice trembled, but her hand was steady. Greg stared at her. "You believe him? After everything?" Matilda's eyes were glassy. "I don't know what to believe anymore. But I know this. I don't want to be another woman silenced by this family." The escape plan. That night, Matilda packed a small bag, just the essentials: USB, cash, ID. Frederick waited outside in the car with the child asleep in the back seat. Matilda turned one last time to look at the mansion. Greg stood in the doorway. "You walk away now. You lose everything." She gave him a tired smile. "No, Greg, I just might be finding myself." She climbed into the car. The final twist? Or is it? 3 hours later, on the road out of town, Frederick pulled into a quiet rest stop. The child still sleeping. "There's something else," he said, eyes on the horizon. Matilda tensed. "What?" Frederick hesitated. "The letter. The one about Nina? I didn't send it." Matilda's heart dropped. "Then who did?" Frederick turned slowly toward her. "Someone who's not done with us yet." Suddenly, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. New message. She opened it. Just 5 chilling words. "I know what you did." Matilda's hand trembled as she held the phone. The message glared back at her. "I know what you did." She stared at Frederick. "Did you send this?" Her voice cracked. Frederick shook his head slowly. "No, but I think I know who did." Before she could speak again, a second message arrived. This one with a photo. Her. From years ago. In a hospital bed. Hooked up to IVs. Weak. Crying. Frederick saw it and went pale. "Matilda, that was the night. When you tried to—" She nodded slowly, eyes brimming with tears. "When I lost everything." A name from the past. Frederick pulled the car over and stepped out to make a call. The line rang once. Twice. Then someone answered. A woman's voice. Cold. Familiar. "Hello, Freddie." "Nina, it's you, isn't it?" he said. "You're alive." The woman laughed softly. "Did you think I'd die just because Greg and his father paid off my family?" "No, darling. I went underground. And I watched. All of you. Especially her." She paused. "Tell Matilda I'm coming back, and she'll pay for what she did to me." Frederick's blood ran cold. Back in the car. Frederick got back in, slammed the door, and gripped the steering wheel. "Nina's alive." Matilda blinked. "No, she can't be. Greg told me she." "They lied. She faked her death. Or someone faked it for her. But she's back, and she's out for revenge." Matilda's thoughts raced. She remembered the whispers in the mansion, the locked room, Greg's mother's sudden disappearance before Matilda arrived. Everything was off, and now it made sense. She looked at the USB drive. There must be more, something buried deeper. Frederick nodded. "We need help. Someone who knows the Daniels family better than both of us." The unexpected ally. The next morning, they arrived in the countryside. A quiet, hidden cottage surrounded by tall trees. Frederick knocked twice. A woman in her late 40s opened the door, her silver-streaked hair tied back. "You're not supposed to be here," she said. Frederick smiled. "Good to see you too, Aunt Sylvia." Matilda looked confused. Frederick explained. "She's my aunt, Greg's father's sister, the black sheep of the Daniels family. She was kicked out years ago for digging into family secrets." Sylvia gave Matilda a long, calculating stare. "So you're the one he chose after destroying Nina and hiding the truth about his mother." "His mother?" Matilda blinked. "What truth?" Sylvia stepped aside. "Come in. You're going to want to sit down for this." The Daniels curse. Inside, the room was filled with old photos, boxes of files, and newspaper clippings. Sylvia pulled out a folder and handed it to Matilda. Inside were photos of Greg's mother before she vanished, and letters. Love letters. Not to Mr. Daniels, but to another man, a name Matilda had never seen. Carter Wayne. Sylvia spoke slowly. Greg's mother fell in love with Carter when Greg was only 7. She tried to leave the family with him, but then she disappeared. Frederick whispered, "Wait, Greg told me she died in a car crash." Sylvia nodded. "That's what they made everyone believe. But I found out later she was sent away. A private psychiatric hospital, locked up for emotional instability. She's alive, Matilda. Barely, but alive." Matilda gasped. "So Greg never knew?" Sylvia looked away. Or maybe he did, and chose not to care. The new threat. As they sat, Matilda's phone buzzed again. A video this time. Nina, wearing all black, standing in front of a burning photo. "You stole everything from me, Greg. His family's power, my life. It's my turn now. Check the news, sweetheart." Matilda's heart raced as she opened the news app. Breaking. Daniels' empire under fire. Secret files leaked. Frederick turned on the old TV. The reporter was mid-sentence. "Anonymous source has exposed a series of cover-ups, including a false death, corporate fraud, and potential abuse of power involving the Daniels family." Sylvia smiled faintly. "Looks like Nina didn't come to play." Matilda stood up. "We need to find her before she destroys everything. Or worse, gets to Greg's mother." Frederick agreed. Time to go back to the mansion. The gates of the Daniels estate creaked open, like the jaws of some ancient beast. Frederick drove cautiously, eyes darting toward the towering house ahead. Matilda clenched her fists in her lap, heart thudding like war drums. Nina was playing a dangerous game and they were walking straight into the lion's den. "We go straight to the study," Frederick said. "That's where the panel is. If the tunnel exists, we'll find it." But the mansion wasn't empty. As they stepped in, an all-too-familiar voice echoed from the top of the stairs. Matilda. Greg. Standing tall in a black suit, eyes dark with betrayal and something else. Pain? Rage? "You disappeared." "With him, of all people," he growled, nodding toward Frederick. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" Matilda stood her ground. "You lied to me. About your mother. About Nina. And now she's destroying your family from the inside." Greg's jaw clenched. Then his voice dropped. cold and calm. Then let's end this together. The secret tunnel. The three of them stepped into the grand study, books lining every wall. Frederick moved toward the fireplace, pressed two hidden latches, and a section of the bookcase groaned open. Behind it, dark stone stairs, leading downward. Greg hesitated. My father never let me in here. He said it was cursed. That's because it is. Sylvia's voice came from behind. She had followed them silently. The Daniels buried more than wealth in these walls. They descended, torches flickering on automatically as they walked. The air was thick, heavy with memory. At the bottom a door, iron, bolted shut. Frederick pushed it open. The room that shouldn't exist. Inside was a room straight out of a psychological nightmare. A bed, straps on the frame, an old IV stand, and on the walls photos, hundreds of them. Greg's mother, her smiling, crying, screaming. No, Greg whispered, stepping forward. He picked up a dusty cassette tape from the desk and played it on the nearby recorder. Please, I just want to see my son. Tell him I love him. He has to know I didn't abandon him. Her voice cracked. Sobs followed. Greg's knees buckled. They told me she died, he whispered, broken. Matilda stepped closer, hand on his shoulder. They didn't just lock her away, they erased her. And then, the monitor on the wall blinked to life. Nina's face appeared. The video message. Well done, Matilda. You made it to the truth. Finally. She clapped mockingly on screen. But you're too late. While you were playing detectives, I've been busy. Greg, your father is in a coma. Poisoned. I left him a parting gift. Greg shot up. You did what? Nina smirked. Don't worry. I won't kill anyone else, unless Matilda doesn't meet me. Alone. Tonight. At the Black Pines Asylum. You know the place, Frederick. Her smile faded. Come alone, Matilda, or everyone you love will suffer, just like I did. The screen went black. The sacrifice. Frederick tried to protest. It's a trap. I'm going with you. But Matilda shook her head. She wants me. Only me. Greg stepped forward, more human than he'd ever seemed before. If anything happens to you, I'll never forgive myself. Sylvia pulled out an old box from the shadows. Inside a diary. Nina's. She handed it to Matilda. You'll need this. She left it behind when she first disappeared. There are things in there about her mind, her obsession, her fears. Matilda nodded. Then I guess it's time I face her. Matilda stood quietly outside the gates of Black Pines Asylum. The sky was cloudy, and the wind howled through the trees. The place had been shut down years ago, but tonight it felt alive. Not with people, but with secrets. She looked behind her, but she was alone, just like Nina had asked. Her heart pounded as she pushed open the old iron gate. It creaked loudly, warning her of what was to come. Still, she walked forward, each step heavy with fear and courage. The asylum was dark inside. The smell of mold and dust filled her nose. Cracked walls, broken glass, and old furniture lay everywhere. Then she heard it. A soft whisper, like her name. Matilda. She froze. Nina? She called out, her voice shaking. A figure stepped out of the shadows. It was Nina. Her face was half lit by the weak light from Matilda's torch. Her hair was messy, her eyes wild, but she smiled. A strange, sad smile. You came, Nina said softly. I wasn't sure you would. I came alone, Matilda said. Now tell me, why are you doing all this? Why are you hurting people? Nina laughed cold and bitter. Hurting people? Is that what they told you? Matilda, they hurt me first. They locked me away. They treated me like a madwoman. Your precious Greg's father. He's the monster, not me. Matilda shook her head. You poisoned him. I did, Nina said without shame. Because he deserved it. He stole everything from me. My baby. My life. Your baby? Matilda asked, confused. Yes, Nina whispered. I was pregnant, Matilda. Years ago. before I was locked away, but not with Greg's father's child. Matilda took a step back. What are you saying? Nina's eyes filled with tears. I loved someone else, someone I trusted, Frederick. Matilda's heart skipped. Frederick? She whispered. Yes, Nina said. He was my best friend. We were always close. But one night, one mistake, and everything changed. When I told him I was pregnant, he panicked. He told Mr. Daniels everything. Matilda's hands were shaking. You're saying Frederick is the father of your child? Nina nodded. And because of that, Mr. Daniels said I had to go. He couldn't bear the shame, so he told everyone I was sick, that I had lost my mind. He paid doctors to hide me in this place. Matilda felt like the ground was spinning beneath her. You were locked in here, while Frederick stayed by Mr. Daniels' side like nothing happened? Yes, Nina said. He chose power over me, over his own child. Matilda's mind raced. Everything Frederick had told her. Was it a lie? Then something else clicked in her mind. Wait, she said. If you had the baby, where is it? Nina's lips trembled. I lost him, she said. 2 weeks after they brought me here, they said it was a stillbirth. But I don't believe them. I think Mr. Daniels took him just to hurt me. I never got to hold my son. Never saw his face. Matilda was speechless. I need you, Matilda, Nina said. I need someone to believe me, to help me find out the truth. But why didn't you just talk to me? Matilda asked. Why all the lies? The games? Why scare me? Nina looked away. Because I was angry. Because I thought you were just like the rest of them. I saw you getting close to Greg, to Frederick, and I thought they had turned you against me. But now I see. You're not like them. Suddenly, they heard footsteps. Heavy ones. Matilda turned quickly, and out of the shadows came Frederick breathing hard, his face pale. Matilda, step away from her, he said. You lied to me, Matilda said, her voice low. You didn't tell me she was pregnant, that the baby was yours. Frederick looked at Nina, then back at Matilda. She's twisting everything. She said you betrayed her, that you told Mr. Daniels about the baby. I did what I had to, Frederick snapped. I was scared. I didn't want to lose everything I'd worked for, but I didn't want her to suffer either. You let them lock her away, Matilda shouted. She was unstable, Frederick said. She wasn't thinking clearly. She was a threat to herself. No, Nina said, stepping forward. I was a threat to him, because I had something that could ruin his perfect image. A child out of wedlock, with a servant. Matilda felt sick. Frederick's lips trembled. I never wanted this to happen. I just wanted it all to go away. Even your own child? Matilda whispered. Frederick looked down. There was no child. That's what they told me, that it was a miscarriage. Maybe they lied to you too, Nina said coldly. Suddenly, another voice echoed from the hallway. Maybe they did. They all turned. Greg. His face was pale, but his eyes were fierce. He held something in his hands. A file. I found this in my father's safe, he said, his voice shaking. Medical records, Nina's pregnancy, the delivery, and then a transfer order. Transfer order? Matilda asked. For a baby boy, Greg said, to a private clinic, under a fake name. The baby was alive. Nina gasped. Her knees gave way, and she dropped to the floor. Greg walked over and placed the file in her hands. I don't know where he is now, he said gently, but we'll find him. Tears rolled down Nina's cheeks as she clutched the file. Frederick leaned against the wall, speechless. I don't believe this, he whispered. All this time. You didn't even try to find out, Matilda said bitterly. You were too busy protecting your position. Frederick looked old, suddenly, weaker than she'd ever seen him. I was a coward, he admitted. Greg stepped forward. There's more, he said. That panel behind the bookcase, it wasn't just a tunnel. There's another room, with documents, journals. My father kept notes about everything. Everything? Matilda asked. Greg nodded. He was planning something. He knew Nina would come back one day. Nina looked up slowly. Then I'll burn it all. Every piece of it. Matilda stopped her. No, we'll use it. to tell the truth. The truth comes out. In the weeks that followed, everything changed. Greg handed over the journals to the police. The story hit the news show Nina had been locked away, how she'd been pregnant with Frederick's child, and how the Daniels family had covered it up for decades. Frederick was forced to resign from the family company. Greg decided to step down too, wanting no part of the family's dark legacy. Nina, finally free, began working with a lawyer to track down her son. There was hope again in her eyes, though they were still full of pain. As for Matilda, she stayed by Nina's side. The two women, once enemies, now worked together to uncover the rest of the truth. One night, as they sat by the fire, Nina whispered, "I used to dream about what he looked like. My son. Would he have my eyes? Frederick's hair?" Matilda smiled gently. "You'll meet him, I believe that." And somewhere, not too far away, a young man of 23 was looking at his adoption papers, wondering why his past had been kept hidden, wondering who he really was.